You have to charge a fair price. You cannot be the cheapest.
Going to do $1.5 billion this year. And like, you need to start your own recruiting company.
Welcome back to everybody. We have Joe McEvoy here. He's the owner of MTM Recruiting. What Joe does, and he does a very nice job, he will go recruit mostly canvassers for your organization. I know you recruit other people also, but you come from the power background of talent acquisition, canvassing, all these things, and you spent about 10 years of power, correct?
Yeah, 10 years, yeah.
And we're going to talk about that, but you do a very nice job at finding companies, the right people.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's hard to do, and we're going to talk about that. And you know, you see a lot of different home service-based businesses. You've seen my companies all grow firsthand. I got to know you over last year. So first of all, I appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah.
And second of all, why don't you tell everybody who you are and what you do real fast?
Yeah. So MTM Recruiting, we're a staffing and recruiting company. We specialize specifically in the home services space. See, a lot of the clients that we work with, window siding, roofing companies, one-day bath is becoming, a big thing as well. But we do everything from entry-level canvas recruitment, which I would say is probably about 80% of our business, but we do all the way up to like executive level, direct placements and things like that. We're unique, right? There's companies out there that will only do direct placements, right? They're just going to charge you 20% fee to staff for them. And then there's some companies out there that just want to do canvassing. They're going to charge you a flat monthly rate and they're going to charge. We do a little bit of both.
Tell me how you work. I might know how you work because I get your invoices, but that's that point. but the listeners out there, tell me how you work, because we're going to talk about, the good, the bad, and the ugly of recruiting, some of the people you hire, some of the great people, some of the not so great people, and how you grow organizations. You need people. So,
of course.
Tell people how you work.
So, we take a unique approach, and this is something we kind of developed over the years and my time, spent at Power. When I was there, they were a $100 million a year company. There's 3 of us in the recruiting department, just kind of sorting it out. And then, we scaled that thing over $1 billion. But when I started, we were 3 guys that just were young and we were
hustlers.
I think we played more foosball than we did recruiting throughout the day, but we worked hard when we worked. But then we were always pushing the envelope, right? We started looking at recruiting like sales, right? And like marketing we were very metrics and KPI driven, which most people don't even think about when they look at recruiting, right? So we started looking at, what is our, how much are we spending and what is our net return? How many people we're getting? How are we converting on those people? How are they showing up to interviews? How are they getting offered? How are we closing them? And then what we started to do was develop, and you talk about this a lot on your podcast, systems and processes to scale that and really hone it and refine it. So we were tracking every KPI metric possibly known to man when it came to it. And we kind of developed like this methodology of like, what is the sweet spot in, how many applications do you need to generate how many hires, and how do you back those KPIs all the way down the road? Most companies don't look at their recruiting departments like that. Most companies, their recruiting department is a function of HR, where we look at it as a function of sales. And that's exactly how we operate.
I look at it your way, function of sales.
Absolutely.
And, we have in-house recruiters, so you know that. I'm very transparent with people.
Yeah, of course.
I think you can't, LB Capital is bigger than most organizations.
Yep.
So, but I think you can use the outside recruiting firm if you're a $6, $10, $15 million shop. Once you get above that, you do got to bring it in-house. You do to have some hands-on. And people will say, well, you can get a virtual assistant for 1/10 the price. Well, you probably get 1/10 of the goddamn results too.
100%.
Right? Like everyone's always looking for the cheap way out. The smartest guy in the room, the smartest heckler, I call it, right? Let's talk about this. You were at Power for 10 years. Why'd you leave? Because listen, that's a great organization. And people will try and smash Power to me. I'm like, the local Pennsylvania guys, most people don't know that. And they're brothers. And they're good guys. And they're really nice guys. And it's a hell of a business they built.
100%. It's a machine.
Huh?
It's a machine.
It is.
Yeah.
And they weren't even really contractors. They're sales guys.
That's it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They're sales guys.
They never, I'd be shocked if they ever hung a shingle.
Yeah, but they're sales guys.
And
they get it, right? But, it's a $1 billion evaluation company. I think it's a multi-billion dollar now, right?
Correct. Yep.
You were there for 10 years. Why leave? Because you had to be making good money.
Made great money.
So what made you leave?
Yeah. So, listen, at a certain point, you want to move on. So, in the recruiting department, like I said, when I started off, there was like 3, 4 of us in the department. I had my VP at the time and my manager. And as the department grew over time, me moving up just kind of got capped, right? So I'm running a 40-person, recruiting division, but the title that I wanted wasn't there. And the reality is they couldn't. We already had 2 VPs in a department of 40. You can't make it 3.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like you have to wait. I'm like, I've been here for 10 years. I can't wait much longer. And I had been getting approached by other organizations to come and lead their department. So, I was like, do I stay here? I'm happy, I'm safe, I'm secure. But I read books all the time about, taking risks and all, and I'm like, I can't just sit here and read it all day and speak about it at these conferences and then not live it. So I decided to jump ship and go into the solar space. And it was tough. Like, it wasn't easy for me to leave there. And when I put in my 2 weeks, the owner asked me to give a month. I met with them once a week for that month. We tried to work it out, but at the end of the day, I was already committed to the new role. And both my brothers both of them were working there at the time. One left, moved on to another organization, but
So you still have a brother there.
I saw a brother there. Yeah, he's a VP of sales in their Tampa market as well.
I'm sure it's a great organization.
Yep.
Yeah. I try to say it to people, like, people are like, how can you speak so highly of other organizations? Well, good organizations know other good organizations.
Exactly.
You're not going to get every piece of the talent. I think there's some things that LB Capital do better. I think there's some things Power does better. Like
100%.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
Yeah. So you go out on your, did you go out on your own?
No. So I went into a solar company for 2 years, which again was a great company. They were scaling, but the solar industry has its own world of issues.
It's a shit. Listen, let's call it what it is. Listen, you'll be PC. The solar world is the shit show world.
Terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. I would sit and, I was sold on this opportunity that the company at that time was doing 130 million a year, and they were going to scale, and they were growing. They were going to $1 billion, and they really needed to get canvassing and sales structured off the ground. When I went in there, it was very easy to see why they weren't scaling. But between M1, M2, cash flow payments, it was a whole, they were upside down, and it was just quickly within 6 months, I realized I had jumped ship to a sinking ship.
Now here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Be straight up. Like, if you can make it in solar and go make 300-400, you'll go probably make 600-700 in roofing, windows.
It's so much easier.
It's so much easier.
It's so much easier.
And you get these solar guys. They're like, no, it's solar. I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like, that'd be the last business I got into.
So the guys that own the solar company, they actually also owned a roofing company as well. And I'm like, what are we doing here? Shut the shop down, pull everybody over to the roofing company. We can get that thing to 100 million tomorrow.
100%.
But they were pot committed to it. So I went there. Writing was on the wall within 6 months of me being there. They needed bailout. They were going through, they got one round of private equity funding. And then as the walls were about to sink, Comcast was looking to buy them out. The Comcast deal fell through in the 11th hour. That was it.
Just like that, they're out.
Done.
That happens all the time in the solars. I'm not saying roofing companies and HVAC companies don't go out of business. I'm not saying, but man, the solar world, it really is.
Yeah.
And it seems like there's not a lot of good people in solar. That's not a shot at solar people. Like, but I meet solar people and automatically, like, my guard goes up.
Yep.
I'm like, well, why are you in this? When I meet roofing people, my guard doesn't go up. When I meet window door people, painting people, HVAC people, garage door people, my guard does not go up.
Not at all.
I mean, solar, I'm like, what? Why are we in solars? Tell me, help me understand this.
It's a cash grab. It's what it comes down to. These guys are grabbing cash real quick and then closing up shop in a month. I mean, or if they're lucky, 2 years. But that's what it is. I feel like solar could be good. It just doesn't have the right ownership. At MTM, we have one solar client. I swore off solar. When I started MTM, I'm like, I'm not taking a single solar client on because I want to get paid. And I saw how we paid our vendors in the solar world, and it was not good. If we paid them at all. And when the solar company shut down and I started MTM, I had one solar client reach out to me, and I called all my contacts from like the financiers and all. I said, "Do you know this solar company?" They're like, "That's actually straight up." So, and they've been my clients since day one. But MTM started when that shut down. I was like,
so pretty much you shut down. You're sitting there. You're like, what do I do?
Yep.
You had children, I'm assuming, at the time.
Children, mortgage, primary breadwinner.
So you come home, you tell your wife.
Yep.
Shit, I left Power to go to this shit show, which you probably saw this shit show coming. So you're telling your wife, preparing her for this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming you go home.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure your wife loves you, but nerves set in, stress sets in.
You'd be surprised. So she was she was like, you know what I'm going to tell you, right? I'm like, I fucking know what you're going to say. She's like, you need to start your own recruiting company. She'd been saying it since the day I left Power. And she's like, she sees all these other people have these recruiting companies and her account. She's like, you have such a skill set. You've worked for one of the largest companies. You could probably go out and market yourself and make a killing. So I'll tell you, Lance, I'll be honest with you, dude. I got laid off. I had to lay off. I also ran a small operations division there. So our company closed down. I had to get 70 people on a video call at 8 o'clock at night and lay off like 70, 80 people on a video call. Because they said the email was going out tomorrow. I'm like, can you wait a day? Can I get? And they were like, no, if you want to tell your people before the email goes out, you got to get them on a call tonight. So get all these people on a call tonight. It was right before Christmas. It was like the first week in December. I had to lay off 80 people. So went home, just thought, how am I going to do this? You can be honest, cried. And then the next day I called the owner of the solar company. I said, you guys own the building, right? He goes, yeah. I go, can I come in and just work out of the office? I go, I can't sit home. I need to figure something out. So he goes, man, I don't give a shit. He goes, you can use the office until they turn the internet off. So I'm like, all right. So I went into that office every day. It's probably like a 30,000 square foot office. I was one of 3 people that just kept showing up. And I said, all right, I'm gonna start an LLC. I started the recruiting company. Simultaneously, I'm gonna go look for jobs because I can't be without a paycheck. So day one, I go in, spend about 2 hours looking for a job in the recruiting space, and then just started calling everybody I know that was in the home services space. I said, listen, I'm out on the market. You guys need any recruiting? You need any help? And they're like, fuck yeah, we need help. Like, we can't hire people. We can't find people. You have this huge network. So I started picking up clients. So I'm like, all right, maybe this is actually turning into something. Day 2, I go into the office again, spend my first hour looking for a job, then spend the next 8 hours trying to build MTM. Day 3, same thing. Now, week 2 comes. I've picked up a decent amount of clients. I stopped looking for jobs. I'm like, all right, I'm recruiting, I'm safe, and I'm making money. Money's coming in. I started off on direct placements. We didn't have the retainer contract, so the money wasn't going to come for 90 days. But I'm like, all right, I'm building something. Week 3, I'm like, holy fuck, I need to start hiring people. So I hired a buddy of mine who was with me at Power for 9 years. He left Power. He moved on to a different company. I called him up. I'm like, yeah, I think I'm doing something special here. Why don't you come be a part of it? And I'm like, but I can't pay you right now. I'll pay you $10.99. He's like, done. Like, he just done. So he's like, I'll work weekends, I'll work nights, I'll keep my job, I'll do whatever. And then within 2 weeks, I had him on payroll. And then fast forward today, this is our 2nd year. I got 23 recruiters on staff.
Listen to that. 24 months, 23 recruiters. That's averaging 1 a month.
Yeah.
That's accelerated growth. But like, God takes you, or whatever your face is. I don't mean to put my face on you, but it's amazing where
100%.
And then now you're looking back, it's so easy for you to connect the dots, right? But it was so hard at the time to connect you can't even draw a straight line when there's so much chaos going around you.
Yep.
But when you look back, you see and the thing about that story that amazes me the most, and this is where, like, what's your wife's name?
Megan,
when you're listening to this, I love you.
Yeah.
Because that is some shit my wife would say to me.
Yep.
Like, my wife made me, and I say, and people are like, what do you mean? Because no one believes in me more than me than my wife. My wife is never... So like when I hear someone like you talk about your wife, and she's the one who told me to do it, because that gives you I always say this, the biggest decision, I tell my sons this all the time, I tell my 3 boys this all the time, my 4th son, Andrew, the biggest decision you're ever going to make in your life is a simple one, and it's your partner, the woman that you marry.
100%.
The woman that you marry will make you or break you. She will elevate you or put you in the dirt. It's that simple. There's no in between. There is no status quo, right? And see, I was like, Megan made you.
You want to laugh?
Yeah.
She found me the job at Power. So
Megan.
So I was out of college. I had an HR degree. I was selling life insurance. I was making like $20,000 a year. Shit money. She's like, why don't you get into HR? Switch into college first. She goes, here, I found this job. Apply for it. And I'm like, all right, I'll apply. I think she applied for the job for me. And then I went and interviewed and got the job. So when you really think about it, I wouldn't be where I was at without her, which is crazy.
I mean, listen, once again, it goes back to the woman you married 100%. Will make or break you.
Absolutely.
And you see all these guys in these train wreck relationships. Like, people are like, oh, you should marry for love. I'm like, I don't think you should. Because you'll like and my wife knows this, like, I wasn't head over heels in love with my wife when I met her. Like, this wasn't some movie, like, thing where it's like boom, 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 boom. But I'm head over heels in love with my wife today.
100%.
Right? Like, I think what happens if you have true love, it's from nurturing, getting to know each other, support systems, going through a lot of different ups and downs together, where you have such a respect level for someone else. That's where the true love comes from. And I think these people that have this fake love or lust, whatever you want to call it, you know, that wears off.
It does. Yeah. I mean, I met her, we don't have to get into this, but
Is there a strip club?
At 18, 19 years old. I was with her for 10 years before we actually got engaged. So we knew it was real before we decided to jump in anything. Probably drug my feet a little too long on that one, but
that's all right. Listen, nothing wrong with dragging your feet. So now MTM's growing. I know you guys have a residual-based model where you just charge a set fee. And it doesn't matter. Like, you got us 2 great leaders. I believe you got us Raphael, right?
Rafa and Carlos.
And that's what people don't realize. Like, and it's for a set price.
Correct. Yeah. So that's the big thing. So I kind of came up with that model because the direct placement fee is out of control. Like,
about 20%.
20% if you're lucky. Some of these companies charge 25, 30%. It's insane.
And they still trying to charge that much?
It's insane.
At that point in time, like, if you're going to go direct, I just want you guys to think about this. And this is what, like, people understand. Like, it's pure numbers. If you're going to hire more than 2 or 3 people a year, let's just say the average salary is 100, they go not off of salary, they go off of what their income is, what they're going to make.
Correct.
So the average salesperson is going to make somewhere between bare minimum 150, 200. That's $40,000 a placement, let's just say. Well, if you're never going to hire more than 3, that's 120,000. You might as well just bring an internal recruit into your building. And of those 3 you hire, 1.5 is going to quit. That's just the reality of whether it makes 90 days or not.
Correct.
Is a whole different. Like, the worst thing you do is have someone make it 97 days, and now you're the fee, and you just lost your employee.
So we started. Our first client was a Pella client that we started the retainer model with.
Pella Windows, just like
Pella Windows.
So the guy was going to know what you're talking about.
Pella.
I'm not trying to correct.
Pella Windows. So we have a great relationship with the Pella independent owners, and we work with about 10 of them across the country right now, building canvassing programs for them. But the first one we ever started with, he was like, I want to hire. He's like, I need like 2 sales reps a quarter at best. And I'm like, all right, here's what I'll do. I'll charge you $8,500 a hire. They got to make it 90 days. And for those of you who don't know, Pella's retention on sales reps is out of control. When we did a deep dive into them, they had reps that have been there 20, 30 years. It's crazy. So I'm like, I knew these guys were going to make it 90 days.
It's a pretty easy sale, I'm assuming, Pella, because everyone knows what a Pella window is, a high window. So it's not like, I think I would have to assume Pella and Anderson are probably the 2 most known windows in
probably.
the States.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah. So I gotta assume it's a pretty easy sale.
And so they started scaling. We built a field marketing program for them. It started taking off. Now we're hiring 2, 3 sales reps a month. I'm billing this guy like $30K a month. I call him up. I shouldn't have. I called him up. I'm like, at some point you're gonna wake up, like you just said, and realize you could have hired a recruiter, maybe paid him $70,000 to $100,000 a year, spent a couple $1,000s a month on Indeed, and did this all yourself internally, and saved yourself a couple $100,000 a year. I said, I never want a client waking up feeling like they can do it better internally than we can. So I said, here's what I'm going to do. Instead of that, give me that. Pay me this monthly fee, and we will take over all your recruiting efforts moving forward. He's like, done. It's a steal. For those types of clients, the amount of hires they get from us on a monthly basis is an absolute steal. And we're just so good at it that for us, it makes sense too.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us today. I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Service Titan and Rilla, our technology of choice to helping us scale and grow our business and making sure all of our viewers have the technology to scale their business so when they want to sell it, they're able to. Yeah, I mean, it's just, when you look at it, if you didn't go to that model, no offense, a sharp guy like me that already has it in-house.
Correct.
It's just going to say, and I got burnt when I had one SEO, and I wish Jolene was here. I wish I could get the name of the company. They said blast them. I don't like putting many people on blast, but
I can probably give you the name of
it. This is what they did to me. I forget the name of it. It wasn't Robert Half, because they've always been good to me.
It was a direct placement firm.
It was, and they waited till after 90 days for one of my employees, and they pulled him out on the 91st day.
It's terrible.
I actually got a lawsuit. I actually went to court with them.
Yeah,
we lost.
A lot of companies.
I actually lost. I'm not really. Oh yeah, I lost. Listen, I'll be the first one to tell you when I win or lose, man. Like, hard lesson though here, right? So, we left on the 90. He left on a 91 day, now or 92 day.
Yeah,
I said that right.
Yeah.
So this is where it gets fucking better. Like the whole story, this is why you gotta watch your use, right? So I just said, yo, guys, he left. Our agreement's 90 days. Our agreement, and he kept saying our agreement's 90 days. So I'm like, so I called the person up. And I said, listen, why did you leave us? And he was like, listen, I liked the job. I didn't like the job, but they called me up and they told me they had this other job for me. And I started interviewing a week and a half ago, and I got $30,000 more. So I went back, right?
Yep.
And said, this is what happened. They're like, no, he contacted us.
No way.
Now, so it's a he or she said thing, right?
Yep.
And I was like, this is crazy. So we didn't pay the invoice.
Yeah.
They wind up suing us, which they did.
Yep.
I think the invoice was, I think you're right, it was about 30%. So I think it was about $30,000.
Insane.
So we went to, would it be arbitration or mediation at the time?
Yep.
And they just said, listen, you
good.
can't prove that they pulled him out. He's not here to say they did, which he wasn't getting involved.
Yeah, he was
on. And they were like, you either pay or you're going to wrap up more legal fees. And at that time, I think I wrapped up almost like 10 grand in legal fees.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is lunacy. And we lost it. We wound up paying. We didn't lose because the arbitrator or mediator or whatever said, listen, if you do take this to trial, there's a very good chance the contract's contract and you're going to lose. So we paid. And I was like, man, I'll never, ever, ever, ever. For that reason. And so now, like, you got to look at those fine lines and say, you can't pull the person out. I don't do anything for 90 days, as you know. Like, I just don't believe in that because what's 90 days? Most people, we don't know if they're going to work out. It's for 6 months, right? Like, so, like,
especially in those higher level positions, you can extend out that contract. But I wouldn't even be able to, I can't tell you, Lance, how many times we do a lot of the 90-day stuff. I can't tell you how many times a client calls me at day 100 and they're like, yeah, this guy just quit or just walked out the door. And I end up just replacing the guy. I can't sleep.
Great thing.
I know. I can't sleep at night knowing
You're
that.
doing, listen, I always say this. Is it easier to keep your client happy today or go find a new client?
Happy. Keep them happy.
And that's what people don't realize.
Yeah.
Like, just keep your clients happy.
Yeah.
It's easier to keep your client happier today than go find a new client.
Yeah. I'll call
clients.
I'll call clients day 89. Be like, this guy working out? If not, you should probably fire him because we're sweeping this money in the operating account tomorrow. And they're like, oh, we love him. Then day 120 comes. They're like, yeah, this happened. That I'm like, all right, we'll get your replacement. Because at the end of the day, like you said, I love the replacements. A lot of money in my pocket. $30,000, $40,000 for one hire is insane. But also at the end of the day, I gotta understand, I'm a business owner. I would struggle paying $30,000, $40,000 and swallowing that fee. So to lose somebody after 120 days after paying that is just insane. So we'll typically, I can't believe I'm putting this on your podcast because all these roofers are going to see this now, but we do. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've replaced somebody outside the contract window period just because.
Yeah, but you're saying it like it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. I don't think most people try to take advantage of it. See, like, we got to work with you. We got to have a healthy relationship with you. It works both ways. If you don't win and I don't win, the relationship's over. Like, right, like, I'm going through this right now where me and Chris Munns, we're building 17 houses up in Buckingham, right? Guy quoted us $250,000 to do something. So far, we're at $370,000. It's way past the timeline. I just told him he's a criminal organization because he's so tied in with these inspectors and not the inspectors, the supervisors. And I'm like, dude, you're just taking advantage. He's like, no, he's laughing. I'm like, he's laughing because he knows I'm right.
Correct.
They're all in cahoots together. I said, you're winning, we're not. And this is how customers never come back. So you're going to get me for about $500,000 when you told me it was $250,000, which he's going to get me for. So I got to pay, right?
After,
and now I got to go through the process. We're in the 11th hour and he's just dragging it out. He knows the milk's coming out of the cow still. So he's going to milk everything. And their inspectors are going to, their supervisors, because the government, engineers, lawyers, none of these people want to get shit done unless you're a PI lawyer. Like, none of these people, anyone you pay by the hour, and remember this, anyone you pay by the hour never wants the hour to end.
100%.
Like, it's not hard to figure out, people. No, your account never wants it to end if you pay by the hour. Everything's always complicated. There's always more to the fucking story. There's always something else. But with you, when you have a one set fee, it don't matter. You're doing the right thing because the uneducated business person will come back to you a few times. They're just not gonna have the money to pay you.
Yep.
But the savvy business guy, no offense, I like to think I'm somewhat savvy at this point.
I would like to think so too. Yeah.
And I think I'm savvy because I've been burnt so much.
Yeah.
What's your best learning tool? Being burnt. Like you get burnt. And I say this all the time. When you're exposed, you'll be exposed.
Yep.
Right? If you're exposed, they will expose you.
Yep.
So just don't let yourself be exposed.
Yeah. Yeah. When we met with you guys, it's funny. You could tell that you guys had been burned a couple times because the questions that Bill and Mike were asking me, I'm like, oh, this isn't your first go around.
No.
Right. And same thing. The way I started my business and the way we onboarded clients 2 years ago versus the way we do it today is just a product of we just got burnt so many times that we're like, all right, this is the standard moving forward. You can't meet the standard, then you can't be a client of ours.
Let's talk about Canvas, because a lot of people listening to this podcast will say Canvas isn't for roofing, Canvas isn't for restoration, I think Canvas is for every home service business.
I agree.
Whether it's be for painting, whether it be for HVAC.
100%.
People are proving it, right?
Yep.
For fencing.
Yep.
But canvases are a special breed. You get good canvases.
Yeah.
No, I'm not being rude. I got much respect for canvases.
Yeah.
The guy, Brendan, that's his name, Brendan, right? Brandon. My man Brandon at Munns.
Oh, yeah.
He's the man, dude.
Yeah, we work with him.
Yeah,
he's a beast.
He's a beast. Like,
Yeah.
He gets it. He understands it. What's the Carlos, right?
Carlos.
Beast, right? He came from Power also, right?
Yeah, he was there for a long time.
Yeah, a long time, right?
Yep.
Like these guys, but they're different though.
Yes.
They're like, give me something that's different. I mean, like the guy's just different. Like Tesla. Like they're driving Teslas. You're different. You're driving Tesla. It's different.
Yeah.
Canvassers are different.
Different.
Like,
especially guys that will do that. Especially guys like Carlos, guy like Brandon. They've been doing it for 15, 20 years.
I couldn't imagine. Could you?
Yeah. Now. Listen, I did it in college for a window siding roofing company. It wasn't just, it was, I was walking around the college campus. They had one of those like papers that was stapled to a thing. It was like, you want a job, rip the number and call it.
Yeah.
Went into this office and this tiny little office, and the dude drove a 350Z. I thought he was the coolest guy. And he's like, yeah, we're just going to go knock on doors and set appointments. You get $200 for every one. I was like, deal. Right. And then if we got like 2 in a day, you got the putt to make like $50. I had a great time doing it, but it's not something I could do forever.
Well, I don't think a lot of people know what canvassing is. When you're just going and you're knocking on doors all day. Yeah. You're just going, hey, Mrs. Jones, would you like a free inspection on your roof? Hey, Mrs. Jones, would you like a free inspection on your HVAC? Hey, Miss, your neighbor had a problem. We're doing work down there. Would you like
rain, snow, sleet?
Don't matter.
Doesn't matter. You're out there hitting doors.
They don't get paid unless they get
correct.
Well, I guess they get the hourly pay.
Yeah.
But what's the average price? 18, 20 bucks an hour?
Yeah. I mean, it depends. Some. I mean, we staff for everything. We staff. Some clients are 1099 door knockers. There's somebody out there for.
So all of ours are employees.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Which I think that's the model.
That is the model.
That's just the model PE firms want. So that'd be the model I'd go with. Yeah. Listen to the podcast.
Yeah. We had a client. Storm Resto Company, 1099. They had to go train in Louisiana. So they would hire them across the country. They had to get themselves to Louisiana for training, pay for their own travel, pay for their own room, just to go back and work 1099.
That's a shitty organization.
100%. We don't work with them anymore.
That's a shitty organization. Yep. As you know, we pay for your training.
Yep.
We pay you to get there.
Yep. Everything.
We put you in a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
We give you what's that called? The daily food allotment. We give you. I forget. I'm having a brain fart right now.
Yeah.
We give you a daily food allotment, and then we train you.
Yep. And
then we send you out, and you get an hourly pay, and you're an employee, and you get health benefits. You get health benefits. Like, you can't treat people like shit. Is that company still around?
Yeah. Good question. I don't know. They're not a client of ours anymore. We prefer not to work with those. As much as we work for our clients, which are the companies, we like to be a candidate first company. Like at the end of the day, it's our name, it's our company on the line. And we have to make sure, like when we're pitching candidates and we're selling them in on opportunities, we're selling them on opportunities. And we have to believe that the company that we're putting them into is a great opportunity and it's actually going to make their lives better. And if we feel like the client isn't providing that, we'll either drop that client or we won't work with that client anymore. And that's tough. As a business owner, you never want to give up business. I'd rather them pay me the monthly fee.
The problem is you're not going to get, like the problem is if you're sending people to a shitty organization, they're going to destroy you.
100%.
Like, they're going to destroy you. Like that client, I mean, What's he paying you? $7,500 a month, $8,000 a month,
Yeah.
$6,000 a month.
Could be. Yeah.
Well, the 10 people you send his way that month that he hired, he gave a bad experience. That's 10 bad reviews on you. That's 10 of their friends.
That's exactly what it is.
Like, it's just not even, and you don't know where they're going with their futures. And no different than you. You worked at Power.
Yep.
Now look at you own your own company.
Yeah.
Right? You're not sending people to bad companies.
Nope.
You know, canvassers are different. People don't realize though, canvas guys can make $150,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year.
Some of them were making $200,000, $300,000.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
you can make good money.
Yeah, great money.
But it's definitely a skill set.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's definitely a skill set. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if
not
I've
everybody
been a
can
good
do it.
canvasser. Like, I think I'm a good salesperson. I do.
Yeah.
Like, I think
Yeah.
I'm a good salesperson. I'm a great B2B salesperson. I was great selling advertising B2B.
Mm-hmm.
I think I could sell in-home now. I think I could sell roofs. I think I'd be good at selling roofs.
Yeah.
I never sold a roof, but I think I'm a likable guy. I think a trustworthy guy.
Yeah.
Authentic. Like, I think I'd be able to go in, and I think my close rate would probably be 50%. I'm not gonna say it's 90 or 100, but I think I'd be at 50%, making $300,000-$400,000 a year just selling roofs, right?
Yeah.
The canvassers made, but that's just a whole, like, that's a hard job.
Yeah.
It's snowing out. You're knocking on doors. It's raining out.
Yeah.
You're not, or you don't eat.
100%. You got to think too, like when you're talking about B2B or even in home sales, you have hours to build a relationship, months, years to build a relationship. When you're canvassing, you're knocking on the door, you got 30 seconds to make that person your best friend. That's all you have. So you have to be the type of person that somebody's going to open up their door and be like, I like this guy. I love this guy. I don't care what he's about to say. I'm going to take an appointment.
So I met a guy probably 5 years ago. I wish I knew the name. He was sitting next to me on a plane. I asked him what he does. And he says, I own this pest control company.
Yeah.
And it's built all on canvassing. Do
Yep.
you know the name of it that I'm thinking of? It's a guy local here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a nice sized company. And all they do during the summertime is, and like during the spring, summer, and fall, they have college kids and all these other kids. They pick them up in vans and they drop them. So you understand this.
Yep.
And that's the first time I really heard of canvas. But this guy built, and don't hold me to this, I think he might have been doing about $100 million in pest control, which is a lot of money, right?
Yeah, it's insane.
And I was like, wow, this dude doesn't spend a nickel on advertising.
Nope.
All he does is canvassing.
Exactly.
Can you talk about that? Because Power doesn't spend a lot of money on advertising. It's all canvassing.
I'm going to say they're going to do $1.5 billion this year. 95% of it's going to come from canvassing.
Think about that, guys. But canvassing isn't for you, and you don't want to give it a shot because it is a lot to manage, though.
Well, that's the thing. So you just have to pick your heart, right? Like, we're getting busy. Why our business is becoming 80% canvas recruitment is because, private equity is flooding to the home services space.
100%.
So now every sales guy, anybody is now a roofer. They're now a sider. They're now an exterior guy. Guys that never even had interest in it are now getting into it. But what do? They all go to LSA ads. They all go to PPC. They're using lead aggregators. And those things were great when there was very few companies doing it.
Oh, now they're expensive now.
Yeah, I watched a podcast the other day. You said you're spending, what, $200,000+ a month on Angie's?
So I'll tell you a quick story. You'll appreciate this. And the shop tour, we probably have the video. We're going to add the video up on social media for me, Neri. Make sure there's two guys in there. They're mortgage guys. I'm not going to put their faces in there because they were really, really nice guys. I could tell they were coming from a sincere spot.
Yeah.
So they showed up to my shop tour and they asked me a question. They said, what would you do? We're looking to buy $1 to $3 million companies in home services.
Yeah.
And we're going to build them and scale them. So they said, we're kind of doing what you're going to do, Lance, what you do. And I was like, fuck it. Like, I like these guys, right? Like, I dig it. Like, grab a shovel. Life's a garden. Like, let's just jump in, right?
Yeah.
So I said, what do you guys do? They're like, oh, we're in the mortgage business. So now I'm rattled here a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay. I'm like, so you're going to pay these companies to $1 to $3 million. And I said, what's your EBITDA? He's like, it might be 200, 300. I said, what are you going to pay him? He's like, maybe $1 million, whatever. I'm like, so you're going to pay these guys $1 million. That's more money they've ever seen in their life.
Yeah.
They're going to check out on you. Yep. They are the company. If you're doing $1 to $3 million, the owner is the salesperson, the product manager, owner operator. I was like, I wouldn't give you $1 for your business. And they're like, what? I'm like, I wouldn't give you $1. I'm like, there, yes or no, we got to post it in and go, you'll see me sit in front of everyone. I'm like, I would not giving you $1.
Yeah.
And they were like so taken back.
Yeah.
And then they were like, what would you do? And they're like, all these people. And I said, everyone was just like this. So I said, who would partner with these two guys? And no, I said, who would partner with me? And everyone raised their hand. I said, because I've sold 6 companies to private equity. You can come to LB Capital. You can see the people here. You can see all my companies. I'll show you the numbers. We're going to do over $100 million here just in roofing retail. Like, you guys don't understand. You don't even know how to sell this shit. And I have a partner in every one of my businesses. If something were to go wrong with Joe, you know me, I'm not handy at all. But my partner can go out and make sure the customer's happy.
Well, I know all your partners.
They understand the construction business. They don't understand business. Like, that came out wrong. They don't understand.
I know what you're saying. Scaling.
So, but they understand their business. And I'm like, guys, like, go get a job for 6 months to a year, 18 months.
You gotta learn.
And they didn't want to hear that, did they, Near? They were like, but they're going to go out. And I said, you're going to do. Like, now your mom tells you not to touch the stove, but you still touch the fucking hot stove. I said to him, I said, you're going to touch the stove and go buy a $1 to $3 million company. You're going to overpay for it. You're going to find out you just lost all that money. And you're going to be pissed off. And you're going to listen back on this day and say, fuck, that guy was not trying to be a jerk. He was just trying to be honest.
Yeah, but to your point about the canvassing, it is difficult. But again, traditional marketing, everybody's flooding to it. Everybody's a roofing there. Everybody's flooding. I'm a homeowner. I used to get a mailer a week, maybe from like an exterior. My mailbox is flooded with mailers from this roofing company, that roofing company, this person, that person. Why people are moving to Canvas is it's more of an exclusive lead. You knock on the door, you set the appointment. You're the only company going in there for the most part selling. That's why Power did so well. They weren't going in there and competing with 5, 6, 7 other companies. That homeowner wasn't clicking on an ad for a lead aggregator and that lead aggregator sending it to 10 roofers. And now
Power's the most expensive per square almost out there in the industry. Like,
insane.
And people say it's wrong. I'm like, no, I think it's right. You don't see all their systems, their processes.
100%.
Like, you got to make business. And the one thing I tell you that Power does do, just as good as LB Capital, when something goes wrong, they'll make it right.
Yes,
like
lifetime transferable.
But but not even that, they'll go do it. Like, we just had a problem out where a storm came through yesterday in Pittsburgh. I guess they couldn't cover the roof in time. And my CEO, Bill, already had 2 mold remediation companies out there this morning taking care of the customer. Like, we're eating that bill.
I know.
Like, we're not waiting for the subs insurance. We're not waiting for insurance. We're just going to go do it. Like, but that's why you have to charge a fair price. You cannot be the cheapest. Can you talk about that?
I mean, their prices are insane. And I didn't know any better. When I worked at the organization, I just thought that's what things cost. I thought a roof was $40,000. I didn't know. I thought it was, $14, $15 a square. I had no idea until I left and started meeting with all these other roof guys. I'm like, what are you guys charging? They're like, $650 a square.
But that's why they don't make money, these roofers.
Well, correct. And they can't scale their business because they can't hire people because they're operating on thin margins. Again, at the end of the day, Power's got a lifetime transferable warranty on everything that they do. That means that you or the next homeowner, if something goes wrong with that product, they're going to come out and replace it. No charge.
And they don't argue about it.
Nope.
Like, and I'm not, listen, people are like, man, Lance, why are you so pro Power? Because I took their playbook and I just duplicate it. Like, because, and people are like, Lance, you don't argue with any, and no, who cares?
Yeah.
It's the price of business, guys.
Correct.
And if someone gets me for a free roof or a free door or a free window, you got me. I hope you're happy.
But the margins are there.
Correct.
If your margins
have to be there,
you can't.
But if they're getting me, I promise you, they're getting Joe Blow and Johnny Smalls 100%. And everyone else. The problem is they're not business guys. They're fighting, screaming, yelling about it. Then this person's leaving bad reviews for him. It's a debacle. So what's next for TMT? You've got 23. You're young. How old are you?
39.
39?
Think about that for a second.
Okay, you're 39 years old. You're still young.
Yeah.
What's next for you guys?
That's a great question. So, we're growing. We're scaling. We want to own this space. Like, that's the reality. Like, we want to be the premier staffing company in the home services space, and we're quickly making waves.
You want to be like Robert Half is to accounting, how Robert Half is to...
But so here's the difference with us.
I'm not comparing you to...
No, I know.
But you think like, hey, listen, I need an accountant. You're probably going to call it Rob Half. I would. Like, that's 100%, right? Like,
we want that. And we're quickly becoming that. I scaled my company. I do no marketing. Everything has been referral based. My company,
wait, the moment we start marketing, my man, you go from 23 to 46 real fast.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is, like, it's like if I scaled that quick, I'd be a recruiting company that has a recruiting problem. I can't recruit enough people myself, right? Like, going from 0 to 23 people in 2 years was crazy, trying to build all the processes, procedures while doing all that stuff. But we are building it to scale. But we want to own the space. The other thing is too, like, we're not greedy. Like, we're exclusive with our partners. And this is one of the things that, like, some of my people push back on. My wife pushed back on. She's like, you got to sort that out. I'm like, I don't want to sort it out. Like, if we staff for you in a market, if you have us on a retainer in a market, we are your exclusive recruiting partner in that market. We won't pick up another roofer in that market.
That's good.
Yeah, because we're only recruiting against ourselves then. Like, we want to help our clients scale and go from 10, 20, 30 to 100 million, or go from 50 million to 100 million. And we can't do that if we're working with the 3 other roofers that are around them.
And America's a big country. People don't realize that. Most roofing companies are 30, 40, 50-mile radius. I'm assuming side to side to America is probably 3,000 square. 3,000. How many from East Coast to West Coast? How many miles is that? Probably 3,000, 4,000.
You're asking right. Jerry, I failed geography.
How many? Google how many square miles is America? How many square miles? What is it?
A little under 3,000.
Look at that.
That's pretty.
Yeah. Whoop. Come on.
That's pretty good.
I mean, just do that. I mean, you got a serious business there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, a serious business.
Yeah.
Listen, I appreciate you coming in.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
How do people get a hold of you, Joe?
Yeah.
If they want to talk to you about canvassers or any other.
Yeah. So, MTMRecruiting.com. That's how MTMRecruits.com. That's how you can find us. You can call me on my cell. I answer my cell. That's how you guys found me.
Yeah, I love when people throw at the cell. I love that.
856-981-3582. 856-981-3582. That's how you guys got me. Bill Roselle called my cell phone. I picked it up. He goes, first off, let me congratulate you on picking up a phone number you didn't recognize. Now, I will say, I don't know what Bill's got. I knew who Bill was. I knew who you guys were. And when he called, his name came up. So it was a little bit of a cheat. I was like shocked when I saw that.
It don't matter. You picked up.
Listen,
how many guys I ask them to get their information here, and I just wait to see if they get a cell phone. And sometimes they're like, do you give it a cell phone? They're like, no, I'm not going to get my cell phone. And I'm like, I give up my cell phone, still on podcast, whenever I go.
Yep.
Like, without thinking about it. And people are like, you got your cell phone? I'm like, it's my cell phone.
Yeah.
If I don't pick up, they'll text me. And I'm not saying I get back to every single person that reaches out to me.
Yeah.
But I do try.
Yeah.
Right? You just never know where God takes you and business is going to take you. So,
100%.
but it's funny. Well, thanks for coming in, Joe. I appreciate it, bro.
Thank you, Lance.
Awesome.